Two for you, John. So I'm still unclear about, at the very end of this, so the 30th, 31st, who's going to be doing security at the airport as those last U.S. troops are leaving? Is there an agreement, or it sounded as if you were saying that the Taliban will be responsible for security as the last Americans are leaving?
No, I said the Taliban were responsible for running an airport that's in a city that they are now the titular heads of government there.
Running the airport and the security, right?
Courtney, when we are gone, the airport will no longer be secured by American forces. What that security looks like after we're gone, I can't speak to that.
Before the U.S. leaves, though.
We will
Who will be doing it as the U.S. is. Let's say that those last couple of aircraft leave with Americans. Who's running security, keeping those aircraft and the runways safe?
Yeah. So you're asking a very good tactical question, right? So, security, which we would call, a commander's inherent responsibility throughout every phase of the operation. We are continuing to secure ourselves to the very last requirement of that. So when you say who's securing the last flight and all those things, and we will have that ability to secure ourselves through multiple means to ensure flights are able to take off.
And then while I have you up there, I just want to clear one thing that you just said. You said that the most senior commanders on the ground are out and discussing things with the Taliban. Do you mean that Admiral Baseley and General Donahue are actually going to the checkpoints?
I don't want to give names and things that are going. I would just tell you commanders that have authority at echelon to be able to communicate. Because as we said, the most important thing is to be able to coordinate with the Taliban to get the right people through. We've seen that there's been, reports of not the right folks being able to get through. So every day we are ensuring that we can get as many people in as possible so that we can fly them to safety.
And then if I could just ask you one more, John, on the equipment that you were talking about earlier. So when you talk about transitioning towards getting military assets out, so obviously getting the people out, American military out, but will there be a point where you will have a decision, or General, whomever it is, McKenzie, Admiral Baseley, will have a decision about putting people on these aircraft or putting some of the equipment, artillery, CRAMs, all the equipment that's still at the airport there? And has there been a decision made to prioritize lives over military equipment?
Lives are always going to be the priority, period. But as we get closer to the end, there will be some equipment and systems that we will probably take with us as we leave. And the disposition of what we aren't taking with us, that'll be up to Admiral Baseley to determine how that stuff is handled. But lives will always be the chief priority throughout this entire process.
All nationalities' lives?
Lives will always be the priority throughout this process.